Welcome to our Accounting Ed blog. My name's Bob Minetti. I'm one of the instructors for Accounting Ed. Today I wanted to talk about a new type of accounts payable fraud or disbursements fraud, also a type of check fraud that's going on out in the country today. And what we're seeing is as individuals have realized they can now deposit checks using their cell phone. Banks have set this up so they can deposit a check using their cell phone by taking a picture of the check and sending a picture to the bank. So what we're seeing individuals do as a way to commit fraud is when they receive a check from you, they'll go ahead and deposit the check in their bank account. And then they'll sit on that check. They'll leave that check in their desk drawer for, 2 to 3 months, usually waiting to about 90 days to make sure they don't have a stale dated check. And then they'll go down to a check cashing store and cash the check. Now, they've run the check through the bank, and that, of course, cleared your account because that was a legitimate check. There was no reason not to run it. You meant to pay them. Then it goes through the check cashing place. Now, if you have positive pay, it may kick it out, or otherwise it's going to go through the bank and it's going to clear, and you're going to hopefully catch it in your bank reconciliation. The problem is you're not going to be able to stop the bank from paying the check cashing service because they're going to argue, well, wait a minute, I have a legitimate check, the original check, with your signature on it, endorsed by the payee. I had no knowledge of the fraud. Now you have to pay me. And the courts are basically going to uphold that. So your alternative for going after the person who committed the fraud, which is of course the person you wrote the check to, is to sue them. Now, of course, you're almost never going to get a conviction for that if they've only done it once or even twice, unless you can show a pattern of repeated abuse of it. The odds of being able to show intent are going to be difficult because what's the person going to say? Oops, I made a mistake. It was an error. I'm sorry. And I can almost guarantee you that as soon as you contact them and let them know they've been caught, they're going to offer to pay it back. They're going to give you some kind of payment plan. Oh yeah, I cashed that $3,000 check. I forgot I did it. I found it in my desk drawer, so I went down and cashed it. When I went back and looked at my records after you called me, you were right. I did deposit it in my bank using my cell phone. I'm sorry. How about if I pay you back at $10 a month for 300 months? They'll come up with some payment plan, and sometimes hopefully it'll be a little bit better than that one. But you're really not going to have an opportunity to sue them because if you go to court and you try to fight them and say, look, I want it all now, they're going to tell the judge, I can't afford it. I offered them a payment plan. And, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to get the payment plan. You'll still get a judgment against them. You'll get a default judgment, and then they'll be stuck with the payment plan on paying it off. So you need to be able to make sure you're taking a lot of precautions. What we're telling businesses now is get away from checks. And we've actually seen the number of checks drop from 2010 to 2016. We have about half as many checks being written and cleared in 2016 than we did in 2010. And the reason is because of these type of check frauds and how easy it is to create a fake check. So one of the good internal controls you want to put in place in your business is to make sure you're paying things using ACH, wire funds, or some type of electronic funds transfer, electronic bill pay, so that you don't have to issue checks and take this kind of risk. That's our tip for the day. Thank you for joining us on our blog. Hope to see you again in the future.